Here we go. Sorry about that. In this nitty-gritty basics Let's Play live stream, we're going to be playing American Mah Jongg at Mahjong Time. If you haven't tried playing at Mahjong Time yet, look for my email in the video description below. I can send you information about their 30-day VIP trial. The topic for today is how to simplify decision-making during the Charleston. So that's where we're going to focus on the Charleston, but we'll also play games after we get through some of the concepts about decision-making during the Charleston. That's the most important time with developing your hand because you're gathering tiles and you want to optimize and maximize your potential. So I have a short presentation and then we're going to do some demonstrations at Mahjong Time and play a little bit of Mahjong for the whole game. So I hope that you enjoy this session. Please, if you're watching the repost, put your questions in the video description below. Send me an email or join us on Facebook where we carry on conversations about strategies and rules and all those things. Before we get started with the presentation, I just want to say thank you to our moderators. Thank you so much for helping moderate the chat during these live streams. I really appreciate your support. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Thanks for coming. Hello. Say hi in chat if you like while I get the presentation up. Let's see if I can get it to work right. I've been having some strange, here we go. It worked. Okay. Here we go. American Mah Jongg, how to simplify decision-making during the Charleston. I'm going to share a concept with you. It's an overall game method that will simplify decision-making if you're able to compartmentalize the ideas and then apply them at the right time. Because the game really is a multiple phase game. And we're going to talk about that and what that means in regards to decision making and how you can simplify the decision making. The first part of the game is the Charleston. This is the part of the game where you are given your dealt hand and you have to make decisions pass by pass as players pass unwanted tiles to really expedite the development of your hand. So instead of picking one tile at a time, in essence, you're getting 3 picks through each of the passes because each pass has 3 tiles. So you can exponentially improve your dealt hand. That is the purpose of the Charleston. And I just want to mention every now and then I hear or see posts on social media about groups that will either omit the Charleston completely or omit the second Charleston because they just don't think that it has value. But this is part of the game for a reason. And it's one of the big differentiators in American Mah Jongg. There's only one other version that I know of officially that does a form of the Charleston, and that's Western Mah Jongg, played in the UK, India, and I believe Australia as well. But it's played elsewhere. However, those are the primary places it's played. I also saw some Taiwanese players doing the Charleston or version of it. So there is a purpose in it, and it has value if you learn how to take advantage of the process and learn how to make decisions that can expedite the development of your hand. The goal is to improve a dealt hand in those series of 7 passes, well, up to 7. So it behooves you to do the whole Charleston. There are times when you can stop the Charleston, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about that later. There are 4 stages in hand development. This is the hand development, where you get your dealt hand to the finished product, hopefully, which is Mahjong. The first is targeting the strength of the hand. Then you gather tiles for whatever category you've chosen to play. Then you're going to build your hand, because American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples. 91% of the hands use pairs, pungs, kongs. There are hands with singles in them, but there are far fewer. It's really a game of multiples, and that's another differentiator for American Mah Jongg. So you target, gather, build. And sometimes you have to go back to retargeting depending on what happens during the Charleston or during the pick and discard phase of the game. All along the way, you're going to think about defense as well. So during the Charleston, you want to pass defensively so that you're not building your opponent's hand. Your priority is your hand, of course, and then you do the best you can with your remaining tiles in your passes. And then in the pick and discard phase of the game, you want to discard safely. And there are all kinds of strategies on discard planning. Typically, I'll cover discard planning in the Nitty-Gritty prime time, which is tonight. I'm not sure if that's the topic for tonight, but that's more an advanced topic. And I'll probably do some more fundamental discard strategies in the Monday morning Nitty-Gritty basics. So you can look forward to that. So the idea about this 4-stage hand development concept is you want to first get your dealt hand and analyze your situation at the moment, which would be looking at your dealt hand, arranging your tiles, and identifying the strength of the hand. You want to, once you identify the strength of the hand, which for American Mah Jongg is going to be multiples, pair, pung, kong, if you have them. And this is where the simplification comes in, because when you get that dealt hand, if you have a multiple, that's where you start. You don't even need to analyze. You start there. It's just a turnkey. You have a multiple, start there. That's the first way to simplify. Start with multiples. Then you're going to look at the rest of your tiles and choose a category that will use most of them. And that's where you identify your alternatives. Okay, and then you're going to consider all your choices, and then you make a choice. So just to reiterate, the simplification is in your initial target. If you have multiples for American Mah Jongg, that is where you should start, because every hand on the card, well, 91% are going to have pungs and kongs in addition to sometimes pairs. And only 9% of the hands have just singles and pairs. So target multiples and then gather tiles during the Charleston and eventually build your hand. That's where you have no gaps in whatever hand you're playing, and you're just building up so that you're able to call tiles to make exposures, or hopefully pick tiles from the wall and stay concealed. So target, gather, build, defend. If you can remember that, it can help simplify the process. Just think: target, look for the strength of the hand, gather tiles to support the strength of the hand, and then when you have no gaps, build. Target, gather, build, and then defend along the way. Consider that at times you might need to pause because of what is coming around in the Charleston or not coming around in the Charleston. You may need to change your thinking and retarget. Typically, the retargeting will happen during the pick and discard phase of the game when people are discarding and exposing tiles, because if your tiles are going down or being used in exposures, you might have to retarget a different strength based on what's happening at the table. So be mindful of what is being discarded, especially in the early game. An example of this might be if you're playing wins. Typically, if people are not playing wins, those get discarded first. And if you're in a win hand and those wins are going down so much so that you're not going to be able to complete your hand without lots of jokers, you might consider switching to a hand with number tiles. Thankfully, there are several hands in the Wind and Dragon category with number tiles, so hopefully you will have kept a few number tiles for those options. So just remember that while you're developing your hand, you may need to retarget and then gather and build. And consider, as you sort of monitor the progress of your hand development, what stage you're in. And we'll talk more about that later in this presentation. So there are some techniques that might help with a framework to help identify the strength in the hand and targeting and why it works for American Mah Jongg. The first technique is optimization. You want to look at your tiles, your dealt hand, and then identify multiples. Here's an example where we have 3 multiples. We're going to optimize by targeting the multiples. In American Mah Jongg, that is the optimized way to play because 91% of the hands on the card use pungs and kongs. Pairs, pungs, and kongs would be included in that 91%. I believe it's like 84% with just pungs and kongs. So if you have multiples, start there. That's the first advice I have on simplifying your decision making. Get your dealt hand. If you see a multiple, start there. So you would think, well, we have 1, 3, 5. We could play little odds, and that's true. But you could also play 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do have tiles that you can pass without digging into this too much. You could pass the north, the 9 band, and the 6, and still play either little odds or 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 2, 3, 4, 5, and let the ones go. So the idea is to optimize by targeting multiples. Most of the hands has pairs, pungs, and kongs, so build around them, and that is going to optimize hand development, especially during the Charleston. The next technique is to maximize. Maximizing is when you use most of your tiles. That is maximizing. This is an example of a 3, 6, 9 hand where you can see we have with the flower, which you can use in almost, I think flowers are in, let's see, what is that percentage? I forgot the percentage of flowers. We're going to get to the graphs later. But I think it's 44%. 44% of the hands on the card use flowers. So we're probably going to keep the flower regardless of what we play. So let's just not count that. For the other tiles, let's say we have the white dragon, so that's 1, and then 3, 6, 9. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles. 8 out of 13, you're maximizing hand development. And this is really helpful, especially if you don't have a multiple. Look at the predominant pattern. That would be maximizing your potential because you're going to pick a category that uses most of your tiles. That is maximizing. If you don't have multiples, build around the predominant pattern. When a multiple forms, reassess and build around the multiple. You got to target the multiple because that is optimal. That is the optimized way to play American Mah Jongg, the optimal way. And you're going to optimize your potential to complete a hand if you target multiples. So this would be maximize. Now, I want to share quickly some statistics on why this works. We're going to look at attributes very briefly. Oops, sorry, I thought I had this broken out. The first one is big multiples. Big multiples are pungs and kongs, 84%. With pairs, 61% of the hands have pairs. Together, that's 91% that use pairs, pungs, kongs. So 84% use pungs and kongs. That's significant. So if you target multiples, you're going to optimize your potential. The other thing I want to mention is that with mixed suits and one suit, the comparison there is significant. We have 69% of the hands on the card are in mixed suits, where only 27% is in one suit. So while you're gathering tiles, keep every tile that you can potentially use for your category. And that's going to maximize your options, because you're going to have the choice of one suit or mixed suits later. Whereas if you, let's say you just start discounting offsuit tiles, let's say you have what looks like mostly dots, so you let bams and cracks go, but you still have enough discards to keep them. So keep all the different suits if you can that can be used in your category. And then when you run out of discards, make the decision of whether or not you want to do one suit or mixed suit to free up tiles and continue the Charleston. Just to review, optimize is when you target multiples. Maximize is when you look for the predominant pattern and you use most of your tiles. So here we have 4, 5, 6 highlighted. That's 1, 2, or not counting the flower, 1, let me use my mouse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. There's a multiple in there, so that would work. But with 3, 6, 9, you have more tiles. That would be maximizing as well with the 6 dot pair. So you're targeting the 6 dot and you're playing a category that uses most of your tiles. So you're doing the targeting, so you're optimized, and you're also maximizing because you're choosing a category that uses most of your tiles. There's another technique, and there are several times that you might want to use this technique. It's called streamlining. You can streamline by playing consecutive run. If you think about consecutive run, you have 3 suits numbered 1 through 9. That's significantly more tiles than if you're playing evens, odds, 3, 6, 9, wins, dragons, like numbers. By streamlining with consecutive run, you give yourself the most options because of the number of tiles, the number of suits, and the number of hands. All those together allow you to streamline. You can go up or down the range, and you also have 3 suits to work with. So consider consecutive run. Some of the advice I have for consecutive run is when you have a particular hand that's strong in 2 different categories. You can maybe play 2 different categories. How do you know which one to play? First of all, let's see if I go into this. Here we talk about the categories. Let me just share real quick before I talk about making the decision of which to play. With odds, you have 20% of the hands. Most of the hands are in the odd category. In consecutive run, you have 16%. So you have fewer hands, but because you have a 9 number range and 3 different suits, you have flexibility. So it has much more flexibility than any other category on the card. And that applies to 3, 6, 9 and evens. You can see we have 11% and 10% in 3, 6, 9 and evens. Those use number tiles, but the number of hands is fewer. Not only that, but the number of tiles used is fewer. Evens, let's see, 3, 6, 9 uses 3 numbers. Evens uses 4 numbers. Odds uses 5 numbers. Consecutive run can use 9. So that is why consecutive run is great for streamlining, and it can give you a lot of flexibility. So before we talk about the power play, if you are in between 2 categories, and one of them is consecutive run. Consider playing consecutive run because of that flexibility. That's the advice for streamlining. Here's a power play that you can consider. Do all 3. Stack the techniques. Optimize, maximize, and streamline to give you that power play. Sometimes you might just optimize. Sometimes you might just maximize until you're able to optimize. And then sometimes you don't need to streamline. Maybe your hand is strong enough through optimization and maximizing using most of your tiles, so you don't really need to think about streamlining. It depends on the development of the hand and the phase of the game. But consider stacking these techniques to give you the power play. At the end of the Charleston, if you have more than 4 discards, I would say that you're going to be an underdog for that particular game. And you're going to have to draw really well and watch what's happening at the table to optimize the development of your hand and give you the chances to find ways to change what you're playing based on what's being discarded and exposed. I call that being an agile player. You're going with the flow. You're light on your feet, and hopefully you're not committed with exposure so that you can modify your plan as you go. So 4 discards, you're an underdog. If you have more than 4 discards, if you have 4 discards, you're a contender. You have a good chance of winning if you have 4 discards after the Charleston. And the next one would be less than 4. If you have less than 4 discards, I'd say you're a front runner. So when I say these numbers, more than 4, 4, and less than 4, that means that you know what category you're in. You've chosen the category based on the strength of your hand, whether it's based on the multiple or the predominant pattern. Remember, targeting and maximizing, maybe even streamlining. The number of discards that you have, it's going to give you kind of a litmus test of where you're at and how diligent you're going to need to be in monitoring what's happening at the table. And all this is why Mahjong is so complex, and one reason why many of us love it, because it really keeps your mind active. Don't forget to go to my website at some point and subscribe to my mailing list so that you can stay connected with me, and also connect with me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, because then you won't miss anything when I upload a new video or go live. We're going to go to Mahjong now and demonstrate optimize, maximize, streamline, and we're going to look at the discards and compare and see whether or not the decision making is strong. And sometimes luck can throw you into a loop. So hopefully we'll have some opportunities to demonstrate that. I'm going to share Mahjong Time now, and we'll get started with some demonstration. If you have any questions, of course, write it in chat. Okay, so here's Mahjong Time. Can everybody see my screen? Let's see here. Let me make sure that we're caught up.
Is Milo E?
Okay, looks like we're here. Okay, so we're going to decline that, and we're going to play in Mahjong School. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm hoping you can hear me because I just went through that whole presentation. I'm going to go ahead and get into a game with robots. We'll go full screen. So the first thing that we're going to do when we get our dealt hand is arrange them. And we're going to use an auto sort that sorts by suit. In this particular random deal, we have a couple of jokers, which is always nice. We have a flower, 1, 3, 6 in bams, 1, 3, 4, 6 in cracks with a pair of sixes, a 9 dot, and an east and a west. So this almost looks like that 3, 6, 9 hand in the example in the presentation. Because we have a pair of sixes, we can target that. So we're going to use that technique here. We're targeting the 6 crack. And then we'll look at the rest of our tiles and hold the tiles for a category where we use most of our tiles. That would be maximizing. And here we have a lot of 3, 6, 9. We don't have a 5, so I would probably not consider consecutive run unless 5s come in. Because we have 5 discards, I'd probably keep the 4 in case we get 5s. We have tiles we can pass, but this would be risky. So this is where defense comes in. You choose a category that uses the strength of your hand with supporting tiles. So the 6 crack is what we're targeting. We've gathered 3, 6, 9 tiles plus a 4 crack for a potential consecutive run hand. Most of our tiles are in 3, 6, 9. You look at the remaining tiles and do the best you can with a defensive pass. Here we have a 1 crack and 2 wins. Because of news on the card, I would not pass 2 wins. I would let the 4 go and just pass 1. And then I would probably let the 1 crack stay and discard the 1 bam. So they're different suits. So the idea here is that you just want to mitigate the risk. You want to make it as benign as possible, but focus on your hand as the priority. So we have options in 3, 6, 9, so we can let go of the consecutive run option to make that pass safer. So let's pass. We're targeting and maximizing. We have 2, 4, 7. So we do have a little bit of consecutive run, 6, 7, but it's minor, really low. But we could probably keep it. Here's 3, 4, even 2, 3, 4. But 2, 3, 4 with a 6 will only work in a different suit, would only work with 1 hand. And that's the 4th hand down under consecutive run. We can keep 2, 3, 4 and hope for a 5 dot. We have jokers we could use for that particular hand, but that would be a gap hand. I would minimize any gap hand. We could still keep 2, 3, 4 and pass 3 by letting the 7 go instead. And that's an okay pass. So we're looking at either 2 through 6 or 3, 6, 9. Now we have a 9 crack and a 6 bam. We have another multiple in here. Anytime a new multiple forms, reassess, build around the most of your multiples. Sometimes multiples don't go together. In this case, they do for 3, 6, 9. So we're going to let the evens go. We have 3, 6, 9 in cracks with a pair of sixes, 3, 6 in bams, and then a pair of sixes, and then a 9 dot. We could play a few hands, and we want to look at the hand level now because we have only 2 or 3 discards, but we've got like numbers as part of those discards. I would not pass this. 2, 2, 4 would be very risky. So instead of passing like numbers, which in my opinion is almost as risky as passing a pair, especially with 2s because of the year hand or the year category, and because of addition hands being evens, I would not pass 2 2s. I would pass the 2 dot and the 4 and then let something go. And because we have to pick something from our category, we need to now look at the hands. So really, we didn't even look at the hand yet until now because we've had discards. So to mitigate the risk, we're going to pick a hand so we can free up 1 discard. We only need 1, so we don't have to analyze ad nauseum. We can just analyze till we identify 1 discard. So there's the first hand, we could play 3-6 bam, pung kong, 6-9 crack. First hand. And that is what I call a hand of least resistance. It's kind of a new idea. It's all on the card. It's a known shape, but the term hand of least resistance kind of explains in just 3 little words the power behind it. You can use any number of jokers with these hands. Pung kong, any number of jokers. So that is a hand of least resistance. So it's got strong potential. So we could play that first hand. We would not be using the 3 crack or the 9 dot. But let's look a little bit further. We do have a flower, so we could maybe play the second hand, but we've got 2 pairs of 6s. We'd have to throw one of those away. So I would not play that hand. The next one down, 3-6 in pairs, 3-6 in pungs, and then a kong of 9s. And we have all those tiles. 3-6 in bam, 3-6 in cracks with a 9 dot. That requires 2 pair. So what I would probably do, and then the other hands I don't think will be good for us. The concealed hand uses single 6s. We have no dragons. 3-6-9. We could do really the third hand from the bottom requires kongs. And we could do maybe 3-6-9 in cracks, but we have no 9 bam. That's a gap. So really the 2 hands that we have potential for is the first one and the third one. Let's go with the hand of least resistance. So that would mean that we could keep 3-6 in bam, 6-9 in crack, and let the 9 dot and the 3 crack go. 3-6-6-9, first hand, no gaps, 2 multiples. That has strong potential there. So I would probably pass the 9 dot, because if we pass the 3, we're passing 2, 3, 4. Here, at least, we have a big number. So let's pass that. So we have 3-6-9, pung kong, hand of least resistance. We have 2-2-4. And now look at all these 2s we have. There's a multiple in there, by the way. Anytime you develop a new multiple, reassess. Here we have potential for 2-3, 2-3-4, but there's no hand that uses that particular combination. I would stick with 3-6-9, leveraging the most of my multiples. This would be an example of when a multiple doesn't quite fit. Break it up. So let's pass. We want to definitely keep going because we have discards. Some people might say, I'm going to stop the Charleston because I've got 2, 3, 4 here. Maybe I could play consecutive run, but then you'd be throwing away 2 6s of pairs there. So I would not recommend that. I would recommend continuing the Charleston. And even if that means a risky pass, because we have a hand of least resistance, no gaps, 2 multiples. So I would pass. We got the 6 dot back. Let's see if we can keep that. Or 9 dot. That's a 9 dot. Okay, let's pass 2 bam, 1 crack, 7 bam. So at the moment we have 1 discard. Well, really 2, because for the moment we're not using the flower. We got a keeper, the 9 crack. 3-6-9, pung kong, first hand. And we have 2-4-8 here. I think we can make that better by letting go of this 9 dot, because we have a pair of 9 cracks now. Pung kong. It's looking really, really good. Our hand is 1 away from set. We need 1 good pick, and we'll be able to pung and kong every block. 1 good pick or 1 good pass. I should reverse that. 1 good pass, because we're still in the Charleston. Once we get into the pick and discard phase, we just need 1 good pick. Okay, now we have 4 discards. We can pass 3 out of this. Let's do 1, 8, 4. We never touched the flower. We'll let that be our first discard probably. We got the 3 crack back. That's okay though. All right, so now we have 5 discards. We're the dealer, so we would start by discarding this flower. We have an extra tile. So technically we have 4 discards after the Charleston. And I would say we're a contender. We have a hand with no gaps, and we have 3 multiples. We're 1 away from set. If we have 1 good pick out of the wall, we'll be set, which means we can claim a discard for every block in the hand. So let's see how long it takes us to get that good pick. So we're going to start by discarding the flower.
Flower.
I'm going to use the jokers to offset.
4 bamboos.
Thankfully, we don't need flowers. We've got a keeper, the 6 crack. So 1 pick, 1 good pick, we're now set. We can use the joker for the 9 crack and the joker for the 3 bam. Nope, we're not quite set. We need a 6 bam in here still. So not quite. We still need another good pick. Let's throw the 2 bam.
2 bamboos.
So we've had 2 discards so far.
1 bamboo.
We need a good pick from the wall. 3 bam or 6 bam,
1 bamboo.
or a 9 crack actually would be good, because then we can utilize the jokers. We don't need a 1.
1 character.
2 bamboos.
Looks like no one's playing
3
bams.
bamboos.
Okay, let's pung. We know what hand we're playing, and we have no gaps. So I would call it, even though it's going to use one of our jokers.
Pung.
If you know what hand you're playing and you have no gaps, a discard goes down in the early game, I would take it. We're going to expedite, build the hand development, and I'm thinking that we're ahead of everybody else.
7 bamboos.
We have 2 discards, and
4
we've had
characters.
2 rounds of picking. We're going to pass, of course.
4 bamboos.
We need a good pick. A joker will do. So
5
now we're
characters.
set. So that took 1, 2, 3 picks
5
from the
bamboos.
wall. We're in the 3rd round of discards. So
3
3rd round of
characters.
picking. So it took us 3 picks to get to this, and now we're set. We can call for the 6 bam and the
2
9.
characters.
3, 7, and 3. These were both discarded.
7 bamboos.
1 character.
What do you guys think of this hand?
8 characters.
Let's see. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4.
4
We're in the
characters.
5th round. We're not quite ready.
4
We're 1 away
dots.
from ready. But it took us three picks
9
from the
bamboos.
wall to get set, which is really good. I
9
mean,
dots.
it could be better, but that's pretty good.
Pung. 1 dot.
Kong. 2 characters.
It would help if we could pick.
Green dragon.
So we use 2 techniques
3
with
bamboos.
this hand.
2 dots.
We optimized and maximized. 2 dot not. Let's see, it's been discarded.
2 dots.
5 bamboos.
We're looking for a 6 bam or a 9 crack for Pung Kong. Pung Kong
Green
first
dragon.
hand under 369.
3 dots. 7 dots.
They need that over here for let's see. It
5
looks like
characters.
the robot here on the left is playing
Red
the
dragon.
2nd hand from the bottom under consecutive run.
7 bamboos.
Okay, we need a good pick.
7 dots.
That's the second 7 dot. They need 7, 8, 9, 9. Oh,
2
7,
dots.
7, 8. We don't know what other suit they're playing. My guess,
White dragon.
they're not smart, so we don't know what's in their hand, but
6
it's probably
dots.
garbage. Well, we don't want to keep that.
Flower.
2 bamboos. 1 character.
Thanks for coming to the live stream.
2
Just want to say hi to
characters.
those just joining us. We're talking about simplifying decision making.
Flower.
If you missed the first part of
8
this
characters.
video after the live stream, watch the repost because we
4
went over
bamboos.
a short presentation on some
4
techniques to
dots.
simplify decision making.
5 dots.
Oh, you know what? They could be playing 5, 7, 9.
5
5, 7,
characters.
9, 9. It's the same shape hand, and that's the 6th
5
hand
dots.
down, 6th hand down under odds. It's basically the same
6
hand
dots.
as the 2nd hand from the bottom under consecutive run.
1 character.
Conga
2
flowers,
dots.
pair, pair, pung, pung.
3 dots.
Okay, where are our tiles? We need to pick well here. We're 1
9
away.
bamboos.
We need a keeper from the wall. That'll do.
3 characters.
Okay, now we're ready to win. And we have 1 exposure, which is
6
good.
bamboos.
That would be Mahjong.
Mahjong.
So we won, and we're still in the middle game by 2 picks. So that was a pretty good game. And with this hand, we optimized by targeting a pair of 6 cracks in the deal, and we had mostly 3, 6, 9. We did have some potential for consecutive run, but the predominant pattern was 3, 6, 9. So we maximized and chose 3, 6, 9 because we were able to use most of our tiles to give us options. So in this hand, we optimized and maximized. All right, let's exit. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions about these techniques? Maybe we could do an example of all 3. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and join another random deal, and hopefully we can do another example of simplifying decision making by using these 3 techniques: optimize, maximize, and streamline. Oh, we have 2 multiples, 2 crack, and 6 dot. So flower, 1, 9 in bams, 2, 5, 6 in cracks, pair 2, 1, 4, 6 in dots, pair 6, green and white dragon. So our multiples are 2, 6. Those are evens. So I would say maximizing would be to play evens. Even though we have a gap, no 8, we could maybe do something consecutive. So I would probably keep the 5. So I'd say we're maximizing by potentially choosing 2, 4, 6, 8, but we could also streamline by playing 4, 5, 6. So we're maximizing and optimizing, but we're also targeting because we've got 2 multiples. And we do have tiles we can pass. I would let the dragons go because in 2, 4, 6, 8, there's only 1 hand that uses 2, 8. We'd have to throw away a pair of 6s. And that would be the 2nd hand from the bottom. So I would break up these the dragons. And the flower, we may or may not use. We'll just have to see. We're going to try to connect the 2 to the 6. Here's a 4, 8. So now we have filled a gap. We have an 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8, all the numbers are represented. So I would, at this point, let the 5 go. And that would allow us to discard relatively safely. This is a little bit risky. I think we might be I think discarding the flat or the dragon here would be more risky because there is an offsuit dragon hand with 579 or even 135, and that would be the fifth hand down. If someone's playing that, we would feed into it. Either way, it's going to be a little bit of a risky pass, but you want to focus on your own hand first. Building your hand comes first, and then passing as defensively as possible with remaining tiles. Sometimes you can look at the hand level to free up a discard to mitigate the risk. So here, we might even be able to do that a little bit. So for example, we could potentially look at a hand. Now, I would not throw a flower. That's off the table. I would not do that. I would just keep that for a discard. So we're a little hindered with that flower, but that's okay. We could maybe play the second hand down, 4-8, 2, 4, 6, 8 and bams with kongs of sixes. We'd have to throw away the 2. If we get a 6 bam, we could even leverage the 2 crack. The other option would be mixed suit, third hand down, 2, 4, 6, 8, but we've got 2 gaps, no 4 crack, no 8 dot. So that's probably not going to work. We could maybe play the fourth hand down. There is a gap there, no 4 crack, 2, 4 and cracks, 4, 6 and dots with an 8 bam. I would say that is probably our strongest potential because at least we can use the joker for the missing 4. So with that being said, I think if any of these tiles could be discarded, I would probably discard the 4 bam. I don't think the only hand we thought about for that is the second hand down, but I think I'd rather maximize my potential for choice in this category. So I would probably go ahead and discard these. I would just risk it because I want to optimize my potential to build a hand, and keeping that 4 could give us potential for that second hand down. Okay, now here we have a new multiple, an 8. So we have 2, 6 in cracks, pair 2, 4, 8 in bams, pair 8, 4, 6 in dots, 4, 6, 2. I would say that fourth hand down looks pretty good. Here we have a 1, 9. I think we have a gap, so I don't know. I think I would go ahead and risk it because we could still maybe play that second hand down and use the 8. We probably wouldn't need the 2, and then we would use the 6s for the kongs. But we could still maybe play that fourth hand down. Either way, we didn't use the 4. So I think, no. The 4 we would use for the second hand down, but we'd have to throw away a pair of 2s. I think we should let the 4 go and keep the white dragon, discards, or have a safer pass. So that points us to the fourth hand down, and we're playing a gap hand. And that means that we don't need the 6 crack. We did get the 4 bam. We only needed a single for that hand though, so not a big deal. Okay, now 4, 5, 7. We definitely should keep going. Some people might think, oh, I would stop the Charleston here, but we'd be turning down 9 tiles, potentially 12 if we do the optional cross. So I would keep going. And I think the safest way to pass here would be probably 4, 6, 7. At least we're mixing suits. So we're looking at the fourth hand down, 2, 4 in cracks, 4, 6 in dots, pair 8. No keepers, but we do have a tiny bit of consecutive run in here now, 2, 3, 4. We're now at a pretty risky pass though. I'd probably break that up and pass 3, 7, 5, 3, 7, 5. We keep getting that 4. Now we have like numbers with 1s, and we have all keepers other than the flower. So at this point, I would let the dragon go. You could pass blind because we're on the last right. But I want to get all 3 tiles. We have a gap. We need to fill this gap. We need a 4 crack. We can fill this gap. We'll be sitting pretty. We just got the crack, the 4 crack. If we had passed blind, we might not have gotten that 4 crack. Now we have no gaps. And we have 3 tiles to pass. Because we have a hand with 3 multiples and no gaps, I think it's okay to pass risky. So we're going to pass 3, and we're going to pass 1, 6, 7. We want to try to get a 4 dot because that's a pair for us. So that's what we want to keep an eye open for. That is our only weakness. We have our pair of 8s. All we need in here is a 4 dot. There's that 4 band. Okay, so now we are going to discard our riskiest tile. I'll use the joker to separate our discards. We have 5 discards, and again, we're east. So we are in the same position we were last time. We're a contender, I think, for this. We have a hand with no gaps. We have 3 multiples, and we have an extra tile. So we have 4 discards technically. That makes us a contender for this game. Let's see how long it takes us to get set. Let's see, we need to, yeah, we're a ways away because we need to Kong the 4 and the 6. We're going to pass. So we have a ways to go for this one.
4 bamboos.
We need to build up 2 Kongs. We can pass. Now we can call for the 6 dot. Okay, now there's an 8. Always think about, okay, if I build a multiple or get a multiple, you want to reassess a little bit. Here we have 6, 7, 8. I would keep that 8 and discard these other tiles.
1 bamboo.
If we get a 5 dot, we may have a stronger
7
potential for 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive run. We're going to pass on that. Our predominant pattern is
7
evens.
characters.
So I'm thinking the 8 will
6
go.
dots.
Now here we have a potential for that 4th hand down. We have no gaps, so I would Kong. This is a little bit
Kong.
risky because we need a pair for the 8. All right, so now let's discard the, let's see, what do we have? 4 bam out there.
4 bamboos.
So we have 3 discards. We need a pair of 4
3
dots.
characters.
That's our weakness. And we need
1
to build
dot.
up our 4 crack. We have our pair of 2s. We have our pair of 8s.
Green dragon.
So we need 4 cracks
Kong.
or jokers. There's 2 right there. Green dragon. Always
8
keep an eye
characters.
open for joker exchange potential.
Green dragon.
Oh, they got it.
2 bamboos.
We could definitely use a couple jokers to help
1 dot.
expedite this hand. Okay, let's let the 7 go.
7 bamboos.
6s.
6 bamboos.
These will go. Oh, take it with a joker. Darn.
9 bamboos.
I was hoping that someone would take it with a joker.
2 bamboos.
Okay, we need,
6
2 crack.
characters.
We have 2, 4, 6, 8,
7 characters.
2 crack pong, but with the 6 crack or 6 dot
3
Kong,
bamboos.
we're pretty well committed with that 4th hand
7
down.
bamboos. North wind.
3 dots. Pong.
There's another
4
joker
dots.
that we might be able. Oh, that's our tile. At least nobody took it.
Red dragon.
Okay, we need a keeper in here. There we go. Okay, so we'll keep that.
6 dots.
6 bam is out.
6 bamboos.
Okay, now 1 4 dot is out. We need to watch that. We need 1 more good pick
3
for our
bamboos.
4 crack, and we'll be set.
7 dots.
We need to Kong there, and then we'll be hopefully ready on a 4 dot unless we draw it. We have
4
2
characters.
discard. Oh, we're not ready for it.
6 bamboos.
So this is feeling a bit
3 bamboos.
tight.
1 bamboo.
We still have potential though at the moment.
7 dots.
We need a keeper in here.
2 characters.
7 characters. 5 bamboos.
South wind. 2 dots.
6 characters.
No.
4 bamboos.
5 bamboos.
We need a keeper. 4 crack. Joker. Joker will do. Okay, now we're ready to
8
Kong.
characters.
We have 1 discard. This 8 bam is extra. Thankfully,
4
nobody.
dots.
Uh-oh. We need that for a pair. So this is getting super tight for us.
4 bamboos.
We need a 4 crack as soon as possible. Or a 3 dot
White
green
dragon.
dragon. We need a keeper in here. That's not a keeper.
West wind.
So we are at risk.
5 dots.
We need that 4 crack to either go
7
down or
dots.
we need to pick a potential joker exchange here from the
4
wall.
characters.
There we go. Okay. Woo, now I feel better. So we're going to Kong
Kong.
and we're ready to win on a 4 dot.
8 bamboos.
So 2 4 in cracks, pair Kong, 4
2
6 in
bamboos.
dots, pair 4, pair Kong 6, and then a pair of 8s. 4th hand
3
down.
characters.
And we're in the middle game still. So even though we had a
5
weakness,
dots.
thankfully with jokers, we were able to build the hand. We have all pairs here, so we don't need the joker.
Joker.
3 dots. 7 dots.
So with this hand, we used target and
6
maximize
characters.
techniques. We targeted multiples
8
and we
dots.
maximized and played evens
Pawn.
because that was our predominant pattern.
9 dots. 8 dots.
We're looking for a 4 dot.
8 dots.
No jokers.
North wind. 5 dots.
So we're playing with robots. These robots are not
1
smart.
bamboo.
At the top of the hour, we're going to switch to playing with
8 characters.
people, especially because we're not really having any questions in chat. If we had questions
7
or
characters.
requests for demonstrations, we could stay in Mahjong school. But I think
5
playing with
characters.
people has a different outcome because these robots are not
3
smart.
dots.
So I would like to do some demonstration
8 bamboos.
with live players, actual people.
Flower.
Kong.
We got
East
skipped.
wind.
We need a 4 dot to win.
3 characters. Red dragon.
6 bamboos. 3 bamboos.
One of these robots could be keeping a 4 dot, even though
5
based on their
characters.
exposures, they may not even be able to use it. Like none of these particular hands will use a 4 dot. Let's see, this player across from us discarded a 4 dot.
East wind.
With a 3 dot pung, they're probably playing or
Red dragon.
attempting 1 2 3 3.
1 character.
1 2 3 3 with 4 flowers like that. That could be the only hand they're
4
playing.
characters.
So nobody needs a 4 dot. But because the robots are not smart,
1 character.
they could be keeping the 4 dot. We don't know. Could be in the wall though too.
7 bamboos.
So there's only one
North
more.
wind.
My guess is I guess there's no way to know. really.
North wind.
I'm hoping that they'll discard or we'll draw it.
1 character.
4 dot. 4 dot from the wall. Joker.
Joker.
Flower. 2 dots.
This robot over here is
5
playing
dots.
2/8 dragon, but they weren't ready for the 2.
3 characters.
South wind. 4 dots.
There it is. Mahjong.
Mahjong.
Okay, so we got that 4th hand down. And you can see that the robot's hands are not good. All right. Any questions about the techniques that I shared? We're going to talk more about it as we play with real people, but we're going to play faster because there haven't been any questions in chat. So if you have any questions, let me know, and we can stay in Mahjong school, or we can switch to playing with people in fun games. Not a whole lot of people online right now. So if you missed the first part of the lesson, we talked about simplifying decision-making using 3 techniques. Optimize, which is targeting multiples. And I explained why that works. And then we also talked about maximize, which is when you use most of your tiles. And then the third technique is streamlining, which is playing consecutive run or a hand with consecutive tiles. So optimize, maximize, streamline. Sometimes you can stack them for a power play. Watch the presentation at the beginning of this session to catch up on how that all works and why it works. I have statistics to back it up. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna just join a table. Hopefully, we'll join an 8-second. Maybe we can do a 10-second one. Let's try to start this. Let's see here. Let's join this 10-second table. That'll give us a little bit of time to chat. So we're gonna be playing with people now. The decision making is different. Thank you, Bonnie. I'll take that as a compliment. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go full screen. So this is a game with real people, so we're going to be making quicker decisions. But the techniques are the same. The goals are the same. Phases are the same. Strategies are the same. It's just going to be a little quicker. Okay, we have a pair of flowers. We've got a couple of jokers there. 2, 3 in bams. 1, 2 in cracks. 3, 6, 8 in dots. And a west. So we target. This would be optimizing. We have a pair of flowers and an 8. So then we look at the rest of our tiles. We won't be able to use a west with a pair of flowers and an 8. And we won't be able to use a 1 or a 3. So that's where I would start. I would say probably 2, 4, 6, 8 has some potential. Maybe 6, 7, 8 would be a good idea here. I'm thinking 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be streamlining. 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't need little odds. So here I'd probably let go of the 2. This is a little bit risky, but we need to optimize and maximize. So we're going to allow that risk. So we're optimizing by targeting the 8. We're maximizing by choosing our predominant pattern, which is consecutive run. And we're streamlining because that is the consecutive run category. Okay, now here we have the 4 dot. We could still jump back into 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's discard this 5 crack because it is isolated. There's nothing that takes us from the 5 to the 7. And our multiple is with the 8 dot. So I would let that go. We could maybe play 2, 4, 6, 8. We got the 2. So I probably would let this 7 crack go, keep the 2. Oh yeah, we definitely want to keep going. We've got a little bit of wiggle room. We probably can let the 9 dot go. I'm thinking 2, 4, 6, 8. That would be back to optimize and maximize. 2, 4, 6, 8. If we play consecutive run, then we'd be doing all 3 and we'd be streamlining. If we get a 7 dot, I think I would probably switch to consecutive run and streamline. No keepers here. So we have tiles we can pass. We got the 9 dot. That's another multiple. So we're going to let go of the littler numbers here. And let's see here. So we have 6, 8, 9. A white dragon would be awesome if we can get it. Okay, now this is going to be pretty risky. And even our discard here, the 6 dot, there's no way we are going to be discarding risky regardless. I think what I would do here is pass 2 because of the risk and because we have a gap. We have no white dragon and no 7 dot. There's really no other way we can go here with a gap. So white dragon or 7 dot would be ideal. We do have jokers that we can use. Okay, they want 3 and we can do 3. This wouldn't be too bad. 1, 1, 6, 4. A 7 dot or a joker would be awesome for us. And probably that 6 dot will go and we'll leverage the flowers. So we have 3 multiples and one of them is strong, that 8 dot pung. All right, so we have 4 discards and a gap hand. We're playing a gap hand. I'd still say we're a contender because we do have a couple of jokers, but we've got work to do.
1 character.
Maybe we even keep that 8. We could maybe switch to like numbers, I suppose. Always good to have options.
1 character. 7 characters.
We'll pass.
4 dots.
If an 8 dot goes down, I would Kong, even though we have a gap.
North wind.
We need a white dragon or a 7 dot in here. If the 9 dot goes down, I would Kong also. I
5
think
dots.
I don't want to define the jokers at Mahjong
7
Time. You can
bamboos.
define a joker if you're playing a gap hand, but right now
9 characters.
we could play one of 2 hands. There's a white dragon. All right, now we have no gaps. So at this point, I would look at what is out and let that tell me what to discard. There's a 7 crack out.
7 characters.
So whatever is out, we'll discard. And when we get closer to the hand, if we get 1 good pick in here, we can Kong the 9. We need 1 good pick and we'll be set with the white dragon. If we can get a 9 dot or a white dragon, we'll be set.
8 characters.
I would say we're a contender at this point since we now have no gaps. And 3 multiples. Okay, so let's see. Let's discard the 8 bam.
8 bamboos.
4, 5, 6. The 4, let's see. Really, these are
7
none of these are
characters.
out yet, so it's arbitrary what to discard
6
here.
dots.
All right, so now that'll be a good discard.
4 dots.
Oh, a pair. Let's discard the 5.
5 characters.
I was just thinking now, there's a 6 dot out, but we do have some potential for
3
6,
dots.
7, 8, 9. It also is a gap hand. 6, 7 dot, 8,
4
9,
dots.
Pung Kong. 6, 7, 8, 9. Hand of least resistance.
South wind.
If we get a 7 dot, we might consider switching and letting the flowers go.
Red dragon.
Discarding flowers is not too risky in the middle game, but in the end game it is.
9
So
bamboos.
we're in between. We can Kong the
South
9.
wind.
We may be forced to make a choice. One thing that is interesting is there are no white dragons
7
out yet,
dots.
and there goes the first 7 dot. There was a hesitation there, so somebody has a 7 dot.
9 bamboos.
Since somebody has a 7 dot, I would probably focus on 8, 9 dragon, because we may not see that 7 dot in our hand.
2 dots.
I'm hoping that maybe somebody just wasn't ready for that 6
7
dot.
characters.
Maybe we'll get a potential joker exchange opportunity here.
Red dragon.
We need a keeper. Oh no, that's not good for us.
9 characters.
8, 9 dragon is what we're playing. Third hand down. Pair of flowers. Kong Kong. 8, 9 Congo.
North
White
wind.
dragons. We can Kong 2
1
of these
dot.
multiples. And then we need to build.
8 bamboos.
White dragon. Awesome.
4 characters.
Now we are set. So we can use the joker for the 9 dot, joker for the white dragon, and we have a pair we don't need.
West wind.
It was discarded and there was no hesitation on it.
1
So I
dot.
don't think we're going to see an exposure with a joker. I'm not expecting it. Something
Red
could have
dragon.
changed though. Okay, let's discard.
6 dots.
Oh, there's a hesitation now. No taker though.
8 characters.
It's anybody's
1
game really,
character.
but I would say we're a front runner at this point. We just need one good pick or one good discard and we'll be
9
ready to win.
characters.
Let's see, 5 dot, none are out and we're very close. I would discard the riskiest tile now. So if you're ready
5
or very
dot.
close to completing your hand, one discard, you might consider discarding those the
7
riskiest tile
bamboos.
first if you're going to play to win. Right now we're still in the middle game. The 6
3
dot, it
bamboos.
seems nobody wants, or maybe they're playing a concealed hand because there was a hesitation on that 6. If we get a
White
safe,
dragon.
okay, here we go. There's our Kong.
Kong. 6 dots.
So now we're ready on an 8 dot or a 9 dot. And we're semi-stealth mode. We have a Kong
7
of dragons, but there are several hands that can use a Kong of
6
dragons.
characters.
We have the hand in consecutive run. We have
Flower.
also a hand in the wind and dragon category.
6 bamboos.
So it could be one of 2 hands. It could be a year hand, the first year hand.
Kong.
Could be 2, 4, 6, 8
2
hands. So it could
characters.
be one of 4 hands, I guess. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 hands.
5 characters.
4 hands with Kongs of dragons. We're still in the
5
middle
dots.
game. We're looking for an 8 or a 9 dot to win.
1 dot.
Pair of flowers, Kong, 2 consecutive numbers, and a Kong of the corresponding dragon. And we can use a
5
joker
characters.
if we happen to get our white dragon from the wall. Wrong suit, 8 crack can go.
8 characters. Six characters.
We're looking for a keeper.
1 dot.
Keeper for Mah Jongg. Anybody could win though. We're going into
4
the end game now.
characters.
People have had a chance to build their own hands. There we go. So I'll just move these jokers in here. We got Mah Jongg. Mah Jongg. Woohoo! So 8, 9 dragon. 8, 9 dragon. Pair of flowers. We were able to optimize, maximize, and streamline. but we really only had 2 hands to choose from, so there wasn't a whole lot of movement there. Here we have east and west with a run, it looks like. Over here, we have like numbers with 2s, no, year hand. We have a year hand, I think, here. And then over here, east and west with a run. All right, let's play again. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, everyone, for the kudos. Okay, let's see what we can demonstrate next. Optimize, maximize, streamline. If you use all 3, that's power play. Even if you can use 2 of them, if you can stack 2, that's a power play. You could do optimize and maximize. You don't have to play consecutive run every time. That could get boring if you just play that category only. If you have a predominant pattern in another category and you're leveraging the strength of the hand, if you have multiples especially, go for it. We're just waiting for people to join the table. Thanks for coming to the live stream. If you're just joining us, don't forget to watch the repost so you can see the presentation that explains these techniques and why they work. Anybody have any questions about the rules of the game, strategy, anything? While we're waiting, we might as well chat. We can use this time to talk about the game. Oh, we need one more player, and then we'll focus. One more player. We just need one more player. Let's see what we're talking about next week. Maybe we can give you a heads up. Here we go. So next Monday, we are, let's see here. Oh, we're going to do Charleston chain reaction, test your instincts. That's next week. Testing your instincts. That's fun. That's a fun exercise. It's a great way to check your understanding of hand development, really. Okay, next game. We have quite a spread here. 6, 8, 9 in BAMs, 2, 5, 8 in cracks, 1, 6, 8 in dots, red dragon, east and south. Our pairs with the south. So I would keep the wins to see if they come in during the first Charleston. And we do have some 2, 4, 6, 8. We have no 4, so that would be a gap. 8, 9 might be better. 6, 7, 8, 9, we have no 7, but we do have 8, 9. So let's discard these and see how this goes. We might be able to play this last hand under Winds and Dragons. We have our first multiple, the 6. So here's a north, north, east, south. I would probably let the red dragon go. And then by process of elimination, around this 6 dot, I would probably keep that 7. Maybe the 8. We could possibly do the run with north and south. So it looks like we're playing a wind hand, but we can streamline a little bit with the number tiles. So we're probably looking at the second hand or the last hand, concealed hand under winds. We have a 5. We could use that. We need 2 consecutive pungs. Oh, we have another pair in here. Anytime you develop another multiple, reassess. We have 2 tiles that we can pass. So I would probably, I wouldn't let this go, like numbers with 8s. Let's see, we have 6, 6, 5, 6, 7. Maybe we let the 7 go. Or really keep the 7 and let the 5 go. Maybe we can do one of each suit and let the 8 dot go. I'm thinking the concealed news hand, or maybe switch to 6s. All right, we've got another 6 and a 9. There's a 7 also. So we have 6. Let's reassess. 6, 7, 9. I would probably let the winds go and switch. Now, this is an example of why you don't want to just omit the second Charleston. I briefly talked about it at the beginning of this session because I'm changing my hand. We're predominantly with 6, 7, 8, 9 now, or we could even maybe play 3, 6, 9. So I'm now going to let the winds go because they weren't going around. They weren't coming around significantly. So I'm thinking like numbers with 6s, maybe we could do 6, 7, 6, 7, Pung Kong. So I just released fresh tiles. This is why you don't want to omit the second Charleston. We can now play 4, 5, 6. So here's a 5, 6. So we're now both optimizing, maximizing, and streamlining, all 3 techniques, because we're now in consecutive run. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to have to let something go. This 4 crack is isolated, so that would be my first choice. So if you're looking for what to discard, simplify by looking at the isolated tiles. For our category, that 4 has no connection to the majority of our tiles. If you're playing a hand where there are gaps by nature of the category, like 2, 4, 6, 8, odds, and 3, 6, 9, then that doesn't quite work. But for consecutive run, any isolated tile would be a good discard. Here we have 5, 6. So we have 5, 6, 5, 6. The 3s are isolated, but here too, I wouldn't pass like numbers. We're going right, so we can let the south go. We sent that to somebody else. I probably would let the 7 bam go and focus on 5, 6. Maybe 5, 6, 5, 6, third hand from the bottom. We have a long way to go because we need to pung and kong. We did get a keeper there, and we have tiles we can pass. Let's see how many our opponent wants. I try to be reactive. In the optional, I wait for my opponent, and I do this in live games too. I wait for my opponent to offer because it reveals how many you want. If they delay, I would say in a live game, would you like any tiles? Instead of saying I have 2, I say, would you like any tiles? Because I'm not outing myself, and I'm prompting them. Here online, you can just wait it out. Right now, I think our opponent wants 1 tile, and I don't want to do an optional cross with someone who wants 1 tile. So I'm going to pass. No tiles. So we have 6 discards. We're going to be an underdog on this one, but we do have a hand with no gaps. It's weak though, because we need
7
to pung and
bambos.
kong. We're ready to call only one of our blocks. So
East
we have a
wind.
lot of work to do here. We have 6 discards. We are an underdog on this one.
9 dots.
We could pung the 5 dot, but that's about it. Now, we might keep this red
Green
dragon. We could potentially play like numbers with 6s if we
1
get
bamboo.
flowers. We do have some potential in here for 3, 3, 6, 9,
2 bamboos.
but it's not.
1
Let's see.
character.
Here's 3, 6 in cracks, 3, 6 in bams,
Pung.
9 bam. We could do, for example, 3,
4
6, 9 with
bamboos.
kongs of 6s. Here's a
7
flower now.
characters.
All right, we're going to reassess.
5 characters.
Reassess. We've got a pair of 5 dots in here. I'm thinking the dragon probably can go. I would still
bamboos.
consider 5, 6, 5, 6 as the strongest
Flower.
potential. It's a hand of least resistance. Let's let that go there.
Red dragon.
We do have 3, 6 bam, 6, 9 dot. That's
Flower.
another hand of least resistance. Pung Kong, you can use any number of jokers.
8 bamboos.
5, 6, 5, 6. That's another
7
hand of least
bamboos.
resistance. Like numbers with 6s. That has a pair in it.
2 dots.
And we do have no gaps there, but we need a Kong. We need 3 Kongs.
6 characters.
All right, so 6 crack is down. That's one of our tiles,
7
maybe.
dots.
So right now we're just
North
gathering.
wind.
We're in the gather stage.
Kong.
We don't have to pick a hand
8
yet.
dots.
We're going to have to probably whittle out.
3 bamboos.
Nobody wanted that 3.
3 bamboos.
Second one out. I probably, let's see. Let's let the 3 bam go.
3 bamboos.
Here's 3, 6, 9 in cracks.
1
We still have
bamboo.
some potential for 3, 6, 9 with Kongs of 6s.
3 characters.
Single pair pung. We would
dots.
need a pair of 6 cracks. And then, of course, we'd let the 5
2
dot go.
dots.
It's okay to have a pair you don't need. You might be able to do a joker exchange
1 dot.
with it.
4 dots.
We still have potential for 5, 6,
Pung.
5, 6.
2 dots.
6 bam. Okay, now we need to choose. Let's let the 9 dot go.
9
And I
dots.
think now that the 9 dot is gone, the 6 bam can
Red
go.
dragon.
So we still have 1 discard before we have to pick a hand.
9 bamboos.
I think 5, 6, 5, 6 has the
9
strongest
dots.
potential. 3 dot is isolated. You see that? 3, 5, 6. That's not helpful at all. So I'm
3
thinking
dots.
that 3, 6, 9 can go.
Pung.
I think 5, 6, 5, 6
4
is the best
characters.
choice. So we have a player here on the left letting everything hang out. They need a 2 crack. So let's see. Hopefully we won't get that 2 crack.
9
I probably
bamboos.
would fall on my sword if we get a 2 crack, which is
1
painful,
character.
very painful. And that 4 dot, by the way, is
7
available for
bamboos.
exchange, but I would not call it. I would not do the
7
exchange
characters.
for it because that would leave
9
no
characters.
jokers, pure exposures. They could have a
Pung.
pure hand building there. We're
8
one away
dots.
from set. We could pung and kong.
Flower.
Okay, yeah, we want to expedite that. We're going to let that go now.
Flower.
That becomes more and more risky. We're not
Green
playing
dragon.
a hand with flowers. We're playing 5, 6, 5, 6. Third hand from the bottom.
4 characters.
We're using optimize, maximize, and streamlining. Okay, we can let that go. 1 dot,
3
1 is out.
bamboos. 4 characters.
We have a 4 here, 4, 5, 6, but that's not
5
really helpful.
bamboos.
We're looking pretty good for 5, 6, 5, 6. Let's pung.
Pung.
We'll let the 4 bam go.
4 bamboos.
3 crack, 1 is out. 6 crack,
8
1 is out.
bamboos.
1 of each of these tiles are out. We need 1 good pick
6
and we'll be
dots.
set. Oh, that's our tile. We're going to need a joker now.
White dragon.
If we get a 4 dot, I might consider 2 of those are out. We're heading in the end game in 2 picks. I think I would keep that 9 bam because
dot.
that is 2 are out, so that
White
should be
dragon.
fairly safe. We don't know what this player across from us is
4
doing.
characters.
They could be doing
White
like
dragon.
numbers. Joker, nice. Okay,
6
so now we're
characters.
set. We can pung and
6
Kong.
characters.
We're ready to Kong our 6s, pung the 5. We want to try to
Last
minimize
word.
that though, because we have one exposure.
Pung.
We don't want people to know what we're playing.
1 bamboo.
If the 5 dot goes down, that would be
West wind.
better, I guess. I'd rather do this.
6 dots.
Okay, we're gonna Kong.
Kong.
Okay, now we'll let the 3 crack go.
3 characters.
And we have 1 discard. That should be safe. 9 crack. We're going
7
into the
dots.
end game right now. And we have a good safe discard, I think.
3 dots. 2 bamboos.
We do, let's see, 5 crack, 1 is out. That's riskier than the 9 bam.
5 characters. 8 bamboos.
I'm hoping we'll draw to get ready.
White dragon.
Because we could be, let's see, no, there's only 1 hand we could be playing, so it really
7
doesn't
dots.
matter right now. Oh, there we go. All
9
right, so now we're ready to
bamboos.
win on a 5 dot or a 6 bam.
5 dots.
There we go. Mahjong. Woohoo!
Mahjong.
So this would be an example of optimize, maximize, streamline, hand of least resistance. We can use any number of jokers. Pung Kong. Over here, yeah, this right here, ready to win on a 2 crack. If anyone had exchanged that 4, they could have had a pure hand. This is a hand of least resistance though, so if they drew a joker, they could have mahjong there. Here we have 8-9 dragon. 8-9 dragon. Here we have news. Hand of least resistance. All right, let's play again. Hopefully we'll get to play 2 more. Thank you for the kudos. Hopefully people will join the table soon. We won't have to wait too long. And we're off. Oh, we have a very strong player at the table. Silver Tiger, very strong player. And we have our work cut out for us. We have no multiples. This is a really great example of a hand where somebody might say, I have nothing. But that is not true, not with Mahjong. You can make anything work, anything work. So we're going to look for the predominant pattern. And I can see consecutive run is the predominant pattern. 3, 4, 5, 6. We could do 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since we have 2 7s, 1 3, I think the 3 can go. So I'd do 3 west green. I would say 4, 5, 6, 7 or 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 crack is isolated. Now we have a pair. 8. So that's our first multiple. And this is where you reassess and target the multiple. So we're going to reassess. We're going to start with the 8. We're starting over completely. So we have a pair of 8s. So I'm thinking 5, 6, 7, 8 of some kind. 5, 6, 7, 8. And we don't pick a hand. We've got tiles to pass. We do have to let something go. Probably something isolated. The 5, probably. The 7s really are isolated too, from within the suit anyway. Okay, now, oh, someone just gave us a pair of 8s. Well, that's interesting. And we still have the East. Maybe we could play a quint with no jokers. Okay, we have pairs of 8s. Let's see, let's let the 7 dot go and the 5 crack. Really, the 6 crack too is not so helpful. We have pairs of 8s. Part of me is wondering, maybe we can switch to 2, 4, 6, 8, but we have a gap, no 2s. So we're not going to worry about that. If you have a gap, lower it on the priority. Just make that's another way to simplify. If you have a gap, take it off, let it go. Okay, now here's the east, west. So there's some potential for east and west with a run, but we've got gaps. We have no 7 crack. We have no 6 bam. But we do have tiles we can pass, so I would keep going. Let's do 4, 7, 5. I'm keeping the east because we might be able to do a quint. This top hand under quints. We've got 2 pairs of 8s. 4, 5. These are good for passing really for us. Now, if we get evens in dots, we might be able to play that second hand under evens. 2, 4, 6, 8 in dots. But those are pair and singles gaps. So that is a long shot. I'm thinking the best hand for what we have now is the quint. So let's just see what happens. We're going to hold consecutive tiles. Let's let the 6 go. And then maybe this 7 dot. One of each suit. If we get an 8 dot, we might consider like numbers. We've got the west. Okay, so they want 3. I probably would pass 2. We could do east and west with 6, 7, 8, but it's very weak because we have no 6. Maybe we could get the 9 bam. Oh no, did I accidentally pick 3? I guess I did. Let's let the south go. No. Let's see here. We could switch to news. Let's let the 8 go. Because we could maybe do east and west with a run if we get a 9 bam or a 6 bam. So there's an east. We'll keep it. All right. We have a hand with no gaps and 4 discards. I would say we are a contender, but we have a gap. We have no 9.
1 bamboo.
9 bam or 6 bam. So this is a little bit risky, but we could also maybe switch
1 dot.
to a wind hand, all wins, if we draw well.
4 bamboos.
I'd say we might be an underdog here because of the gap. One thing I was thinking
7
is
dots.
maybe we hold year tiles for east and west
1
with the
dot.
year. It's a long shot, but it's an option.
1 bamboo.
You want to hold any tile you can use for your
6
chosen category.
characters.
5 is not helpful.
5 dots.
So we're looking at east and west with a run. 6 bam or 9 bam would be ideal.
1 character.
Even if we can get a joker, we can define it as a 9
5
bam.
bamboos.
6 bam, 9 bam. Those would be 2 good picks, or year tiles.
4 dots.
Red dragon. That is in the category.
8 characters.
I would probably hold that and let the 2 go.
9 bamboos.
East and west
8
with dragons.
characters. 4 dots. 7 characters.
I'd say we're still an underdog. We've got a gap.
8
Anytime you have a gap,
characters.
you're an underdog. Unless you have
1
jokers where you
bamboo.
can define them and use them to fill the gap.
6 characters. 1 dot.
Probably this dragon will go. No dragons are out
9
though.
characters.
No dragons are out. This is going to be risky if we hold on to it for too long.
5 characters.
So we don't want to hold on to that for too long. No 2s are out. No 3s are out. 1s are out.
2 dots.
2, 3. Okay, we're back to
2
potentially
characters.
east and west with the year.
2 bamboos.
A 2 dot is out,
2
so that's a
bamboos.
weakness. A
4
9
dots.
bam is out. 3 bam we don't need. Let's let the dragon go.
Red dragon. 8 dots.
If an east goes down, we're going to have to choose.
8
Because we could do
characters.
east and west with the year. It's a bit risky until we get a
3
2 dot
dots.
or a white dragon.
3 bamboos.
Here's an 8 bam for like numbers, but we already let the 8s
8
go.
bamboos.
That would be a pair for us likely, so we're going to pass. And there's no pung. It's pair,
4
pair,
characters.
Kong for the run
1
hand.
bamboo.
We need a, oh, white dragon. Okay, there. 8 dot can go.
8
So
dots.
I'm thinking east and west with the year. It's still a little bit risky
5 bamboos.
because we need a 2 dot and there's 1 out.
7 bamboos.
Thankfully, nobody took it, and that I don't recall a hesitation other than it coming from us. So I think we're okay there.
8
It's a little
dots.
bit risky. We got the west. Let's let the 7 go.
7 bamboos.
If we can get a flower or the 2, I would
Pung.
rest easy. We
North
have a
wind.
pair we don't need. We're going to
South
distance
wind.
ourselves from the south. Right now we're not exposed, so
Red dragon.
discarding that wind maybe will conceal what we're playing a little bit based on
5
what's
bamboos.
visible in front of us. The 8 bam we don't need. Some people might think, oh, joker bait, but it was discarded and nobody wanted it.
4 dots.
So there's a keeper. What we need in
9
here is a
dots.
2 dot or a flower.
Pung.
We have to draw those
Red
to
dragon.
get ready. We could Kong the west, which I would do if it goes down. So we need to draw. It's going to be a drawing game for us right now. We need to draw a flower or a 2 dot. Thankfully, 1 of 2 tiles and we'll be set. East and west with the year.
2 characters.
A 9 dot. Well, let's take it.
9 dots.
We can maybe just stay stealth mode.
8 bamboos.
Use that and not expose ourselves. We do have some potential
4
for a pure
characters.
hand. But discarding
Green dragon.
a joker after Konging a west, they're going to know we need a pair.
1 character.
And it would be the year hand.
8 bamboos.
So that would put everybody on the defense.
4 bamboos. Green dragon.
It'd be great if we can draw a 2 dot or a flower here.
6 bamboos.
A joker.
8 dots.
All right. Since we're not exposed yet, I probably would let
Red dragon.
the joker go instead of one of these other tiles because we
3
still have
bamboos.
the potential for a pure hand if we draw that west.
1 character.
Might as well. No. Yeah. They have only 1 exposure.
9 dots.
Let's discard the joker.
Joker. 4 bamboos.
We don't need the joker. But at least it's a tile
6
that
dots.
won't help anyone else advance their hand.
Green dragon.
Okay, we need a keeper. We got the 2.
Joker.
All right, ready to win on a flower.
4 bamboos.
No flowers have been discarded yet. I'm hoping nobody's playing a 4 flower
White
hand.
dragon.
If someone's playing Kong, 2 players playing Kong hands, we're going to be stuck. If anyone is
9
having to
characters.
decide about a flower hand versus a no flower hand, they should discard now.
Flower.
Okay, there we go. Mahjong.
Mahjong.
Ah, they're playing 369, no flowers. This is why discarding flowers in the end game is risky. So we have East and West with the year, and that was tenuous because we were maybe playing East and West with the run, but the run just did not come in. And the reason why it didn't come in is because this player had 9s, 6s and 9s. So we were blocked by the 369 hand. Here we have another 9 bam, and over here, big odds, 9s. So 9s were a hot commodity for that particular game. So East and West with the year. Let's play one more game. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you. Yeah, hand development is awesome. And I am actually, that is a book in development. I'm writing a book called The Art of Hand Development for American Mah Jongg. And it's basically going to be everything that we're talking about here. It'll probably be a thin book. This one might even be just an ebook. I'm not sure yet, but I'm working on it. It is in outline form. I have another book that's going to be out this year. That's my current focus. This book is called Essential Strategies to Optimize Your Winning Potential. And hopefully I'll be publishing that in the fall. Okay, now here we've got a predominant pattern. We've got multiples. And we have consecutive tiles. So we're going to play a power play. We're going to do a power play. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dragon. Let's pass 6 and a 2. Oh, thank you, Sue. It's not my writing is not my strength, but I try to keep it conversational. And not just so technical, but anyway, I'm trying. I'm not going to be a New York bestseller probably, but that's okay. I'm going to share my knowledge in written form. Okay, so let's see. We have 6, 7, 9, let's say, or maybe, yeah, I think 6, 7, 9 looks pretty good. I'm thinking we could try for the concealed hand. It's a little bit risky because we don't have our you need lots of pairs there. We need a 2 bam in here, and then a flower and a dragon. We've got a lot of work to do. Okay, now here's where I would pass a white dragon as opposed to 2 wins. We're passing left. I maybe should have kept that 5 bam because we could do 1 through 5. There's no gaps there. There's the 5 and a flower. We got a flower. Okay, so now I would focus on that concealed hand. We still have 2 pair that we need here. We only have 3 discards. So this is going to get tight. Somebody generously gave us a flower. Two bam green dragon. That's what we're looking for. No keepers. That's good because now we've got to go across. At least we can pass, do the last right blind if we happen to get keepers. So we made it without breaking up our hand. We got the 5 back. We could play 1 through 5. I would pass 2 and focus on the concealed hand. We could always switch to Pung Kong, hand of least resistance. Pung Kong, and 1 suit. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would pass 2. A 2 bam and a green dragon is ideal for us. And then we just need to build on the 1 and the 4. We have 3 discards. I'd say we're a front runner on this one. We do have to draw well, though. This will be a drawing game for us because we're concealed.
East wind.
And we need pairs. We can use jokers for the 1 or the
East
4.
wind.
There's a joker.
West wind.
Well, maybe we don't have to
Flower.
plug it in anywhere yet. We're going to pass. We're playing the concealed hand. 1, 2,
One
3, 4
character.
dragon. We need a 2 bam or a
Nine
green dragon,
characters.
hopefully before too long.
4 dots.
We do have some 2, 4, 6, 8 in here. Maybe we can hold
Flower.
that 6.
Four characters. 6 characters.
We need a 2 bam or a green dragon.
7 bamboos. 7 bamboos. 1 dot.
All right, we need a keeper in here. We need
South
we need
wind.
2 pair. Joker, that'll be helpful.
5
Okay.
dots.
So the 6 bam will go. I'm gonna separate this
8
with the
bamboos.
flower so we don't accidentally discard this green dragon.
7 dots.
All right, we need to draw
4
a 2 bam
characters.
or a green dragon. It's all about
6
picking well now.
bamboos.
This is where the luck comes in the game. There's always a
1 character.
element of luck because you're drawing randomly from the wall.
West wind.
We need a 2 bam or a green dragon. Thankfully, none of these are out yet.
7 dots.
White dragon is risky.
White dragon. 4 characters.
We need a 2 bam or a green dragon to be ready to win.
5 dots.
We need a keeper.
North wind.
There it is.
5 characters.
Okay, we're ready to win on a 2 bam.
5 characters.
Now, we have a bit of a challenge because
Red dragon.
there are no 2s out, no 3s out.
1 bamboo.
There's a white dragon out. We threw it. We're concealed.
8 dots.
Looks like somebody might be playing
2
2, 4, 6, 8.
bamboos.
Well, there it is. Mahjong.
Mahjong.
Woohoo! We got a winner. Concealed consecutive. And we used optimize, maximize, and streamline. That would be the power play. Here we have 5, 6, 7, 8, Pung Kong, hand of least resistance. Here we have 3, 6, 9. I'm thinking maybe 3, 6, 9 with 6s probably. 5th hand down maybe. Here we have a year hand. Year hand. I thought maybe someone was playing evens, but the reason it seemed that way is because we have 8s here, 2, 3 there, plus 3s here, and a year hand here. That's why it looked like maybe there was nothing there for evens. All right, I think that's going to do it for this live stream. It was a good day, and we had some great hands to share. Some where we had multiples, some where we had the predominant pattern, but all where we were able to use the techniques that I shared in the beginning of this video. Those techniques are specifically designed or I guess documented for American Mah Jongg, because American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples and also a game of limited categories. So optimize, maximize, and streamline, those techniques are ideal for American Mah Jongg. So if you can understand how to leverage those concepts while you're developing your hand, you're going to simplify your decision making. it'll help you identify discards that you don't need by looking at those techniques and assessing your hand to help you make those decisions. It can simplify your decision making. Optimize would be targeting multiples. Pair Pong Kong, American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples, so you start there. That's the top. That's the best way to start. If you have them, target them. If you don't have them, you look for the predominant pattern, and that's where you maximize. You play a category that uses most of your tiles. So optimizing is targeting multiples, maximizing is using your predominant pattern, and then streamlining is playing consecutive run. And that doesn't just mean consecutive run the category, because there are consecutive runs outside the category. So optimize, maximize, streamline. That's how you simplify decision making. I think it minimizes the need for analysis. Although there's still that need there, it just makes it easier for you if you can see where you can optimize, where you can maximize, and when you can streamline. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the kudos. Thank you for being here. Please share about this channel with your friends. And I hope that the Nitty-Gritty Basics helps you gain confidence playing this complex game that I'm hoping that you love. I love it. And I think you'll come to love it. If you don't, you might be in the thick of it, trying to learn it and master some of the strategies. Join us every Monday from 10 a.m. to noon, where we dig into some kind of strategy at the basic fundamental level for American Mah Jongg. Join us on Monday nights, where we talk about more advanced strategies if you're comfortable with it as a beginner, or if you're an intermediate player wanting to improve your game. Consider joining us on Monday night, where we do Nitty-Gritty Prime Time, and we just do the same thing, presentation with gameplay with commentary demonstrating the topic. And that is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I am considering switching it from 5 to 7. We might test it next week and see how that goes, and leave the evening hours a little more open. I'm not sure yet. What do you guys think about that? 5 to 8, 5 to 7? Maybe I'll do a poll on Facebook to see if 6 to 8 is still ideal, because I'm on the East Coast, so people on the West Coast and Central, it's a challenge being able to pick the time that's best for everybody when you're on one coast, on the far coast. So please look for that poll and participate in that, so I can see the best times. And we'll see you again at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Nitty-Gritty Prime Time. Thanks again for coming, and moderators, thank you again so much for moderating the chat. And for those of you who were here during the live stream, I hope you found it helpful. For those of you watching the repost, thank you so much for watching my videos, everyone. Thank you, Evelyn. We'll see you in a little bit.